I am welcoming Juni Yeung, a candidate for Ward 3. Hello, Juni.
Hello, Marj. Great to have you interviewing all the candidates, and it's an honor to be here.
Thank you. Juni, I am looking forward to hearing the responses to some questions that I've sent you. I'm asking you to respond to each question within 2 minutes. First, Juni, how would you describe the value of our heritage, and how would you like to see Richmond Hill's 150th anniversary celebrated next year?
Richmond Hill is quite the archetypical story of Canada itself. I mean, we started on native land, purchased through treaties. Then it became a postal town, connecting us between, Lakeshore, Ontario to Simcoe and Barrie. And like a post station, it transports through many people and it goes through many different stories and transformations. And I think that for the 150th anniversary, we should catalog and tell that story of that diversity change, the influx of so many different immigrant communities, and forming that great cultural mosaic that is Richmond Hill as one of the most diverse municipalities in all of Ontario. And in the process of doing so, I want to move past just the multicultural celebration aspect, but to move on to the intercultural aspect, and having this project learn about the difficulties and have us celebrate the bad times as well as the good times, so that we have conversations and move those values forward into the future.
Very good. Thank you. Second question. The majority of Richmond Hill residents are very car dependent. This has us with a large carbon footprint, thus contributing to the degradation of our environment. Do you see us resigned to live like this? Would you support changes to the municipal zoning rules to permit non-residential uses in areas that are now strictly residential? Should new subdivisions be designed differently?
Quite a few things to talk about this one. First of all, do you see us resigned to living like this? The answer is, if we don't do something, yes, we will. So gas prices are rising rapidly due to uncertain times. And of course, there's not like there's going to be more petroleum to be made anytime soon. So I do see that we need to have a structural change to our inherently designed car-dependent communities. And what I noticed was just north of my house, near Bayview Secondary School on Casada, there's a historic house that's been changed into a cake parlor, and it is surprisingly popular. So I was thinking that definitely we should have more light commercial spaces to have interspersed within these very car-dependent, single detached home primary communities, so that not only will there be commerce and ease of buying your local groceries and milk like that, but also to connect and provide a focal center to that local community, and where people will actually connect over different issues and have a life that's not just inside the home or somewhere very far away. Furthermore, when we're talking about car dependency, the antithesis of that would be public transport. So there's one thing I wanted to talk about, and that's, let's see, the minibus. So I come from Hong Kong, and the minibus, which is pictured right behind me here, is ubiquitous in connecting your home, your estate, to the local bus terminal or subway station. And I definitely see that as a possible answer, but of course there are many issues along with that. The reason why I call this a very 20th century solution is because it's very gas guzzling and manpower heavy. You need a lot of drivers and you need a lot of gas to keep the line going with a lot of buses. So the question is, can Richmond Hill's demand support the minibus system? And are the people going to actually use it? But of course, this can be argued both ways, because supply doesn't come until there is a demand for it, or you can argue the other way, demand doesn't happen until you actually make the supply. And that argument is the reason why people say the Viva York Region Transit doesn't work, because they've decreased the service frequency and people just don't see it as an alternative. So yeah, and it's not just me. Similarly, regional councillor candidate Godwin Chan also suggested the same system. He and I are both Hong Kongers in ethnicity. So yeah, but he calls them feeder buses. I call them mini buses. Same idea, and we're sort of working on that.
Okay, very good. Okay. Third question. What do you see as Richmond Hill's vulnerabilities?
Vulnerabilities, as you mentioned, the transport and the lack of willingness to step out of the house is one of the greater vulnerabilities. The fact that we don't connect with our neighbors and community means that we're so susceptible to so many things. Safety and security concerns, like anywhere from break-ins to just not being able to smack on that door for help when you need it, to not contributing to the community in productive or effective or ways that would make us happy. So we're lacking that social connection. And third, it also creates a very consumer-based economy. The fact that we only work and go back home to rest our very tired souls from the commute and long work hours, or just that we go to even our local supermarket or grocery store as a destination because you drive here and there. We don't really connect. That's the biggest vulnerability. And because of that, our democracy index has dropped. The fact that we don't participate or we don't even know what's going on with the city, the community, the government, and that's causing the apathy to basically let the bickering and the standstill of our government to happen. So if we are to change that, not only are we talking about getting more accountability in council, but we need a fundamental cultural change in how our community works, how it rocks.
Very good. Thank you. Our fourth question. Imagine there was a lottery for municipalities and Richmond Hill won $50 million. How would you like to see it spent?
$50 million sounds like a lot to the individual, but really it's not much, not too much if you want to think about infrastructure. So think about it. A house in Richmond Hill nowadays costs anywhere from $1 million to $3 million, depending on how big it is. So 50 million, if you count it in condo units, would be around what, 60 to 80 of them? So if you wanted to spend those plans on buying or half buying a condo tower to make it into public or subsidized housing, that's one project. But you don't want to spend it all in one thing. Especially real estate market is very fickle. So if you wanted to run like an arts project or something like that, there's plenty more. So as Mayor West suggested, a good ideas fund, whether that be used for arts, entrepreneurship, or community social projects, I can definitely see sparing 1 or 2 million on that would be a good idea. We have a lot of infrastructure projects, like if we don't leave it up to York Region Transit, if we started our own or sought for a private company to start that minibus idea, that could be easily another 10 million or so if you really wanted to give it deep pockets for reserve, because as you know, transit is usually run at a deficit. So if you want to run it for around a decade or two, 10 million is good. And then next thing, the others, as I mentioned, the infrastructure projects, such as getting public housing or working towards fixing a lot of our parks. I believe someone mentioned to me the baseball diamonds at Richmond Green or so forth. Many of the fences there are broken. The pavement needs to be repaved. Sidewalks need to be fixed. And oh yes, the pipes. Although this is a regional matter, when we're talking about things like the water sewage pipes needing maintenance and expansion, that could easily go in as well. Or finally, if you wanted to talk about paying half of building a supportive housing project, that could be definitely a thing. But of course, all these things I mentioned, it's usually done on multiple levels. For example, pipes and stuff are regional. Parks, there's even federal funding for renewal and initiatives. So I definitely see that this 50 million can be used in many different ways, divested for an impact that's much more.
Okay, thank you. Let's move into the second part of our candidate conversation. I have 7 fun facts about the candidates. They are to be answered quickly and with a smile. First, are you a tea or coffee drinker? Oh,
Tea.
tea. Okay. Do you prefer ebooks or real books?
Back when I was in PhD school, a third, if not a half of my books are ebooks. I still have them on a computer. I still flip them every once in a while, but really, I love real books.
Yeah. Okay. Do you say ketchup or catsup?
This is a hard one. Ketchup originally is indeed Cantonese, so it's somewhere in between. But
Okay.
yeah, I would say ketchup.
Okay. What's your ideal place for a vacation?
Anywhere where I see and can find good friends to play good music and enjoy the natural environment. Personally speaking, I'm thinking of Kyoto, Japan right now. But the reason why I usually travel internationally is to meet friends and to converse with them in engaging conversation.
Very good. Do you have a Mac or a PC?
I have grown up on specifically just the PC. I've built these computers before. I started with DOS programming. Yeah, not much of a Mac user, just a very superficial user for editing videos and stuff, but mostly I use PC.
PC, okay. What's your favorite vegetable?
Um, I'll give you a story here. A short story, eggplant. But when I was little, I didn't like my greens. And the first vegetable that I came to like was thanks to a restaurant that's no longer here, Golden Ice Garden, on Spadina and 16. A family restaurant that we frequent every Sunday or so. And the first vegetable I liked was eggplant because it was meaty and because it was not green.
Okay. Okay, I like that. And have you ever played pickleball?
I've played tennis and I've played badminton, but not pickleball. That
Not
could be
pickleball.
one thing I could be looking into. Yes, indeed.
Okay. Thank you so much, Juni, for participating. I wish you well with this campaign, and I hope to see you around the city very soon.
Likewise, Marj. Thank you very much.